there's a second part to this that thanks to the I saw this on RNZ. Regulatory standards bill slammed as dangerous and calls for alarm bells. So this was a little interview done with Jane Kelsey with the old Patty gal. And there's some really interesting things that she was saying that I think we should all have a listen to, and why we should keep the RSB at top of mind.
Morena, Patty, nice to talk to you.
It is nice to talk to you as well.
Well, I mean, I think the easiest way to understand the gravity of this is that this bill has been before Parliament already 3 times and rejected. And even the Treasury has rejected it in the past. And now it's being slipped in through the coalition agreement where it's not just like the Treaty Principles Bill where there was an agreement by national, it goes before the Select Committee, but actually to legislate around what ACT calls an economic constitution for New Zealand. If we think about what that might mean in ACT speak, and if we remember that ACT actually stands for the Association of Consumers and Taxpayers, we can see that the principles they want to guide future lawmaking in New Zealand are about economic interests and private property rights rather than the broad range of social, environment, treaty, human rights and so on that we would expect from a government.
Right, so this is something that...
Rather interesting.
Yeah.
Is that spiking any alarm bells on you there?
Dude, this whole guy is just one walking, just permanently you know, like that, just when you fire it, like you've got those 10-year fire alarms that just seem to break all the time. He's just one of those. Everything is just it's just one thing after the fucking other. And that's the problem, is like that's what happens when you got slimy people who have been making plans for a lot longer than before all the shit started happening. This has been in the works for a long time, like long con. That's what he's on.
Yeah. I'm gonna play the second part. I found it interesting, the ACT. I was like, oh shit, that really.
Oh yeah, no, the fact that it actually
really
means
says a lot.
I actually learned that from someone in the BHN Discord. Because I remember losing my mind, going, "Wait, it actually stands for something." Crazy.
Right, if I jump to this really is a 6-minute interview. 3:30-ish. There's what I find probably the most disturbing part about this.
By Minister Seymour, who is the Minister for Regulatory Responsibility, has said that they don't support the National and New Zealand First, what is in the coalition agreement.
Yeah, we'll start.
And that seems to be where, interestingly, even First pulling the rug on this. Interestingly, even the Ministry of Regulation, set up by Minister Seymour, who is the Minister for Regulatory Responsibility, has said that they don't support this legislation.
And what is a concrete example of something that could happen under this? What's some sort of regulation that we could lose that would raise huge concerns out there?
Well, unlike a number of the other things that have come through under the coalition agreement, this is more systemic rather than dealing with specific issues. So the goal is light-handed regulation. That is minimalist approaches to regulating a range of areas, especially those that involve investment and so on. So people listening will remember what light-handed regulation brought us with the leaky buildings, the collapses of the finance companies, the Pike River mining collapse, disaster, the adventure tourism lack of regulation, the aged care homes and so on. So it affects...
I think the only thing in there that you need to hear is the Pike River Mine disaster.
Even just leaky homes as well.
Leaky homes,
leaky homes cost us a lot. It's still like,
yes.
I mean, they're all bad, but like,
but everyone knows the tragedy that was the Pike River Mine. That is what light-handed regulation did. That's what David Seymour wants. He wants it less regulation, less red tape, and put it back in the hands of businesses, which he believes is the best way to do it because he believes that they'll do better for us. When they won't do better for us, as she stated earlier, they're not going to do better for us. They're going to do better for their own interests. And regulation should be there for us, not for corporations. They should be there to protect us, to protect workers, to keep us safe, to ensure that we have good social housing in general. Leaky homes is beyond social housing. That was building standards, right?
That was a horror. And that's the thing is that not only costs people like money, but it actually ruined people's lives. You know, you imagine investing, like imagine being able to afford to build a house to begin with. So like for most people our age and under, try to pretend. But imagine being able to do that, investing your entire fucking life, and then turns out you now have an unlivable home. Like the amount of people, and that would have also had flow-on effects. Like, yeah, there's the instantaneous, like the house is fucked, the money, but think about the flow-on effects of what that time of stress and poverty would do to families. What that could potentially, you know, strike homelessness and a bout of poverty that could ruin a person's life. Like these things have flow-on effects that have probably like are still affecting people to this day. Like it's just ridiculous. But I mean, it's also no surprising. Like we know what their end goal is. They don't think it's what's best for us. They say that, but I'm sorry, they don't believe it. They're just saying it because it sounds good. But what they really want is, this is what works best for us. This is what makes us the most money for the least fucking effort so that we can just keep doing this drain game. Like, that's what it just feels like.
These are the people we need to keep happy because these are the people that vote for us. Like, it really... I don't see it having any benefit for anyone but corporations and people who are going to take advantage of us.
Well, I mean, it's almost like, the perfect analogy is think about what they're doing in terms of mining our earth. Like, there was actually, I just saw a post recently about because of the fast track bill, there's now going to be dredging of the ocean for the next 35 years, 5 days a week, like I think 6 or 8 hours a day, 5 to 7 days a week for the next 35 years. Like that is what they're also doing to us in terms of all of these issues with the regulations. Like they're just taking as much as they can get away with without it falling apart and without us actually going, hey, wait a fucking minute. Like we are getting like the earth is getting fucked, but so are we. We are a commodity that is being taken advantage of.